Alright, for the first of this week's videos, I want to continue on from the last video from last week on traveling and show a different form of traveling that I wasn't able to cover in the previous video, since I thought that two were enough. And I've got an example of me committing this violation to sort of save you all from the trouble of having to watch anybody else making a mistake. I'm going to do it for you. So this is the video that I'm going to show you about that, but before we get into that, let's review what the traveling rule is. So this is 16J. Traveling, the thrower must establish a pivot at the appropriate spot on the field and keep all or part of the pivot in contact with that spot until the throw is released. Failure to do so is a travel and results in a stoppage of play and a check. So we covered all that, including sort of the check business. Then we also talked about two different types. So we saw an example of a player catches the disc and either speeds up, changes direction, or does not stop as quickly as possible before establishing a pivot. Also saw a kind of interesting example of purposeful bobbling, including tipping, delaying, guiding, brushing, or the like to oneself in order to advance the disc in any direction from where it was initially contacted. I want to cover option B here in this video. A player receives a pass while running or jumping and releases a pass after the third ground contact and before establishing a pivot. So it's an example from last week's game. Tyler's going to pull to me on the other end, and I'll let you just watch what happens. Alright, that was kind of ugly, and I guess I should just apologize or make clear to my team that I'm not making these violations just so I can have videos to make afterwards. I really did want to complete this pass, and I thought it was going to work out well. So we have here, after I receive the pull, a little give and go with Katie on the side here. I catch it. I'm kind of in motion, want to keep the flow going, and count the number of times I make contact before I throw. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3. Hey, Paula's open. There's 4, and right around the 4th contact, actually slightly after the 4th contact, I make the throw. Steve, who is marking me here, is a nice guy, but he probably should have called travel. Doesn't really matter because the throw was incomplete. Yeah, so with that in mind, I want to go and show you guys how to do it right. There's a good example here from Landon later on in the game of a nice sort of fluid non-travel throw. Go. Right, so it goes by quick, but that's the way it's supposed to be done. So Stefan's going to throw it back to Landon, catch, 1 step, 2 steps, and right before he lands on the 3rd, the disc is released. That's not a travel. That might be really hard to see in YouTube land, so I guess we can go back and watch it with a little more of a zoom. There's a catch, 1 step, 2 steps, boom. Very nice. Okay, that's how not to travel. Do it the way Landon does it, not the way I do it. And maybe you'll complete more passes too. Okay.